All right, we are here for our third week of feature matches for Khans of Tarkir League. We got Chris Sinkwater here on one side, and we have Lotte on the other side, who seems to be experiencing some difficulties with the stream. So as soon as if we can fix it, we'll know what's in her hand. But Duncan's here with me right now, and we can talk about Chris's hand. At least looks to be pretty assertive, at least for the first few turns.
Some nice curve going on there.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to be following up with a Horde Chief, just always what you want to have on turn 3 with these type of decks. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have Lotte's hand right now. Her stream went down, and she's been sent a message, but she doesn't see it because she's in game. What can you do? These things happen sometimes. But I figure there might be something wrong with her arena because it's been like they were stuck in the beginning of the game for a bit, and now it seems it's also taking a bit of time. Unfortunate as as we get that sometimes. But I could talk a little bit about the players. So Chris was here last week in the feature match, and he lost to a Sultai player, and he's back for vengeance against a different Sultai player this time. And Lotte, I think she played in one feature match before, so happy to have her here. And she's right now 7-5, so pretty decent record.
Is restarting her client at the moment, so
Okay.
hopefully back in just a moment.
Okay, so you were able to message her, or at least have her see the message?
Yeah, she saw the message. She's restarted, but I once again just have some little rotating boxes.
Yeah, I mean,
It might be a one-sided feature match.
if her arena is functional and the stream isn't, then that's we can deal with that. If the stream is what's causing her arena to not work, then I'd rather just have the match play out without one player's
Yeah.
hand, which is unfortunate, but that's how it is sometimes. See what she wants to do with this Bondkin here. Hmm. Yeah, not sure if you can take a turn off here to do that. It's going to be rough going here. I mean, we see Chris doesn't have any removal, so his creatures won't be able to get through that. So her hand must be. I mean, it could be cards that you can't cast in different colors, could be expensive spells, could be too many lands, we don't know. But yeah. If Chris had like even one removal, this might be a mess. But we know he just has the See the Unwritten, which could be good. And Wooly locks it on here.
There's Parapet is, I mean, 1 damage a turn isn't that bad, but it's not really what you'd be looking for here.
It adds up, but not as fast as you need it to. That was a card I did like a lot in the back in the day. I drafted quite a lot of that thing. It just blocks like everything in the early game, and it honestly it blocks a lot of the morphs even after they flip up. Not all, but a good portion. Like 4/5, 3/6, anything with 4 power, which there's quite a few. All right, we got a morph here.
Weirdly, weirdly, it won't load. It won't load Lotta's full stream for me, but it is giving occasional thumbnails. So I think she's got Anna Fenza the Foremost, Kintree Warden, and Dead Drop in hand, as well as a couple more land.
Okay, but no forest to cast the Anafenza,
No, unfortunately.
and we don't. I guess was the morph possibly the Kintry Warden?
Yeah, that's that. It's a screenshot from last turn. So
Okay.
yeah, Dead Drop and Anna Fenza are the cards that are known to be in hand right now.
Yeah, so one more land will grant a 6/7 over here to Chris, but drawn for turn is the Abzan Battle Priest, which is a nice one. It's not doing too much on this board, but eventually he might be able to go wide. I don't know if he has stuff like Rush of Battle or things like that, and you could just have a big turn with that.
Yeah, right now he just needs something to get past a 3 power first striker, and
We got a swarm of Bloodflies over here, which could get big. I mean, it's definitely going to be able to attack, but then it could get really big if Chris decides to press the issue
yeah,
with
just
attacking.
brawl with everyone and
Throw
Yeah,
throw a
I
couple
would have been tempted to
creatures,
do a brawl with everyone there
throw a
just
couple
to
creatures under the
get them.
bus, and have a 5/5.
Yeah, you lose one or two, you trade something for the Bondkin maybe, and you get through some damage and have a really big flyer.
Yeah, and of note, it does have lifelink here from the battle priest, so nice little bonus there. Swarm of Bloodflies was a
Mm.
card I'd never really liked that much. Just 5 mana 2/2 is just so bad, but like the minute you trade even just like one creature off with your opponent's creature, it's a 4/4, which is like well above rate. So it varies with the board state, but this seems like it could be a good board state for it. So I don't think Lotte is near the dead drop yet. That I think there's only one card in the graveyard. Well, the Bond kids are bonded here. We got a host
Uh,
of them. A very nice draw here for Chris with the Bitter Revelation. That's right where you want to be here with this type of game. All right, there is a Rush of Battle among the cards, which I did mention would be good with a wide board. Also,
yeah,
Dragonscale Boon and Become Immense and Highland Game here.
if he waits until next turn, that rush of if assuming next turn doesn't change things too much, that rush of battle could be really good.
Yeah, so he's gone for Rush of Battle and Become Immense, and he will have enough in his graveyard to cast the Become Immense, I believe. He's also open. He's also has See the Unwritten in hand, which he can cast now with a 4 power creature and get two things into play. So pretty good. The first strike here is nice for the Bondkins, but the Rush of Battle just represents so much damage, and her tapping the creatures here might spell doom. Yeah, I think
I
he's
don't
just
remember there being a white or green or a white or black trick that would untap things.
no. There could be a kill shot, but that's just one creature down.
Yeah.
Kill shot would be the thing that comes to mind for the mana that's being shown here. I can't see too much. I can't see too much going wrong with a Rush of Battle here, with 3 mana up on the other side,
Yeah. I mean,
and he has to become
you're not
immense.
losing very much that you care about. Yeah, and I think that rush of battle. I think with the land this turn, he's got exactly enough to become immense after doing the rush of battle.
Yeah, so this might be. Well, I mean, he's taking his time here, just thinking of probably racking his brain for what the thing could be that punishes him. And I'm not finding it, but and neither is he. He just says, well, here's a bunch of damage. So there's 4 guaranteed damage from the swarm of bloodflies, plus whatever else doesn't get blocked is way more than 12 here. And anything that dies during first strike is going to make the bloodflies bigger, actually. So the Bondkin
I
blocking
had,
that morph is going to actually put another counter on the bloodfly.
yeah, I hadn't thought about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
fun little
Chris
interaction
here
there.
just Chris here just holding back on the become immense because there's no reason to.
Yeah, I mean that was the amount of damage that came out of virtually nowhere there, at least on Latte's side, was immense enough here to carry the day. And he's just checking the morph there, seeing that it's a Kindry Warden. So that is actually like a big piece of information for Chris, is seeing that the morph was green, knowing that the cards in hand for Lotte were probably green. Um, that is a big piece of information rather than just wondering if she's 2 colors. To be fair, I haven't seen a lot of 2 color decks going around, but it's not impossible. It's not inconceivable that somebody will have a 2 color
It's
deck at this rate.
also, I mean, either an Abzan deck or a Mardu deck would have been reasonable, from seeing plains and swamps. I mean, he still doesn't know if Lotte is only 3 colors, but
Yeah, and doesn't know how much green. Doesn't even know how much black. Like most of the cards that he's like, he saw Bondkin, so he knows she's like base, definitely base white, but everything else about the deck is up in the air. Not too much sideboarding. I think he did swap in one thing, but yeah. So Chris has a Abzan deck, as we saw. He does have a Creator's Claw as a red card, and some and some red tap lands to make that work. Otherwise, it's pretty much straight 3 colors across the board. Doesn't like white, green, and black doesn't seem to be one being splashed, but yeah, look good there. I mean, even with an Anafenza on board, like we don't know what else was in her hand that was potentially green, but like having one extra body, I mean, I don't think it changes the trajectory of what ends up happening there too much. But it could have at least put some early pressure if she had it on time. I guess we still don't have a stream, unfortunately.
Really
Yeah,
not. It updated the thumbnail to show me sideboarding, but not in any really useful way.
yeah, unfortunate. I mean, it happens. It happens from
Yeah.
time to time. We try and work out those kinks beforehand, but her stream was working when she went on Deafen, so uh, we're dealing with it here. So last time Chris did have the 2 drop into Mardu Horde Chief, though this is not the 2 drop you want before your Mardu Horde Chief because it can't attack. But very nice turn 1 with the Ghost Fireblade. That could get in for. I was gonna say it could get in for a bunch of early damage with a morph, but the 0/5 is a stop sign at least for that.
Um, all right. Thumbnail updated again.
Great.
Lotte has 3 morphs in hand, or
Okay.
had 3 morphs in hand as of turn 1. None of them very good though. We've got the Kintree Warden back. We've got Sage Eye Harrier, the white 1/5 flyer, and the War Behemoth, the white 3/6. So I don't know which of them this is face down, but it's very possibly becoming a 4/4 next turn. And then I don't know what happens because that's still not quite enough to punch through an archer's parapet.
Yeah, the parapet is going to be, like I said, a big stop sign here. Like, normally your opponent goes Ghost Fireblade and Morph, and you're like, that's a lot of damage. Like, I'm going to have to trade 2 creatures for that or take 4. But this L5 just is probably making Chris feel all nice, warm, and fuzzy inside here that he's not under siege from this Morph yet, till we know what it is.
Yeah. If that's the War Behemoth, and if Lotte is able to follow up with more land, then that could get big if it's attacking as a 5/8, and that's enough to break down the parapet.
That's enough to get through most things, except an
Yeah.
opposing War Behemoth.
Yeah.
All right, so morph. So the blade goes on the second morph. So I wonder if we're if we if do we have any insight now on which is which after her choosing to equip it to the second morph. That was always a fun game to play, like which order your opponent played the morphs in, especially when you have like a removal. I tended
Yeah. Are they
I tended
trying to?
to go after the second one if I
Yeah.
if
If
I had
they've
a
if
choice.
they're playing two on like consecutive turns, then you're kind of figuring that maybe the first one was a decoy. They're assuming that's the one that's going to eat the debilitating injury or whatever, and then the second one is the actually relevant one. So yeah, the attack here, I kind of feel like that might be the War Behemoth.
Has to be the War Behemoth, yeah, because the other ones don't still don't punch through the parapet. Because like even if it's a Kindred Warden, I mean a 3/3 that regenerates is something, but it's not that great on this board. Yeah, like a card like Kindred Warden, I found I kind of really only want it if I have the morph payoffs being Secret Plans and Trail of Mystery. When you're flipping that up for 1 mana and drawing a card, like you feel good. Or when you're casting it face down and it's drawing a land, like you feel good. But the rest of the time you're like, ah, card feels yucky.
And 2 mana to regenerate isn't that much, but you don't always have it when it's actually relevant either.
No, and there is quite a bit of games that get decided by flying in this format or unblockable with the Mystic of Hidden Ways.
Hmm.
So that being a thing that prevents damage is not even always reliably a fact here. Let's see if she's thinking about potentially moving it, but she says no. So kill shot drawn for Chris here, so he can maybe get rid of that problematic morph. So I think I think he's figured that the first morph is not good and the second morph is good. I think as we figured out, we had a bit more information knowing what some of the morphs were in hand. But he's probably coming to the conclusion that that second one is a bit better than the first.
And he doesn't actually really have very much else to do this turn other than just sit back on kill shot.
Yeah, he's got nothing for now.
Um,
He does. He will have Abzan Guide available to be flipped up next turn, which you always like to have that. 4/4 lifelink always feels nice. I assume we're getting another attack here from the middle morph. So we're thinking the first one is the Kintree Warden, and then the most recently played one is possibly the 1/5 flyer. And he's just gonna double block here, and then when Lotte uses a bunch of mana to flip it up, we get a kill shot, which is that's what you like to do with your kill shot, right? You make your opponent spend mana to flip up their morph. Your opponent
yeah,
spent 8 mana and you just knock it off for 3. Like always feels good.
and I like the double block here instead of just dropping in the archer's parapet because now you're forcing the issue.
Yeah, I mean, Lotte could also just say I'll trade for your morph, but I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know how good she feels about that possibility, but she knows that Chris does definitely has something, so she might just let this happen because she may lose. I mean, if she presses the issue, she loses her creature. She's basically trading her creature for either a kill shot or one of the creatures in play. And she has to know Chris has something, right? He knows that she has the mana to flip it up and have it be much bigger than you know these two combined creatures. So now it's just up to Lotte here what her decision is. Yeah.
Ooh, thumbnail updated again.
All right. Well, as expected with a
Well,
behemoth.
yep. So I don't know what order they're in, but those two morphs are the ones that I'd seen earlier, the Sage-Eye Harrier and the Kintree Warden. Lotte now has a new morph in hand, the Loxodon. I've forgotten the name, the really big green elephant,
Yeah.
the 6/7.
Woolly Loxodon,
Woolly Loxodon, thank you.
king of the morphs.
Yes, as well as a feat of resistance, which
Okay.
unfortunately she was missing one mana in order to flip face
Oh,
up
that would have been
and counter the trick last turn.
that would have blown. We got a full retail Saltai Scavenger here. Yeah, you don't like it, but you do it sometimes. So left in hand is the Russia battle. There are two warriors in play. The Saltai Scavenger, as it stands, somehow is a warrior. There are a few like kind of weirdo creatures that got the warrior subtype, like that one, but it is a warrior, so Russia battle will give it lifelink. So I'm guessing that's the Sage Eye Harrier, but you know, Chris doesn't know that, so he just takes it rather than try and do some blocking.
Hmm.
I mean, how
And
valuable is the
that's
Archer's Parapet? I mean, I guess when it's presenting lethal, you can block with the Archer's Parapet and have it die.
I think that's actually given this play. I think that was probably the Kintree Warden that attacked, and that the plan here is to flip Sage Eye Harrier face up now in order to munch the Sultai Scavenger.
That'll be a 3/7, but we do have a Become Immense here that can wreck that plan.
Hmm.
So if it is the Sage Eye, interesting that was the first one she played rather than the Kintree Warden. Okay,
I guess just
interesting.
figuring that I guess just figuring that she wasn't going to have regeneration mana for a while, so uh, if she was happier losing the Harrier than losing the Kintree,
Yeah.
then
So we're gonna get to Become Immense, and then we're gonna get a Feat of Resistance, and
yeah.
the Sage Eye Harrier is now a pretty scary presence here on board. 4/8 flyer, like that's a big one.
Hmm. Full retail Sultai Scavenger followed by full retail Become Immense.
Look, sometimes you just
So
tap 12
yeah,
mana for a 3/3 and a pump spell. It's just a game sometimes.
yeah. And hey, the next delve spell that comes along, that's a nice full graveyard for it.
Yeah, well, but he's not playing the best Delve spell. Well, at least at common. Treasure Cruise.
Mhm.
That's at least my personal favorite. Second, Ghost Fireblade. Whew, okay. Now we're in business now. That is
Uh,
that's gonna.
question now is question now is really how aggressive to be here.
I mean, she saw a rush of battle last game, so that's something that could punish her for attacking and not leaving back bodies. But it's still even like it's not even that much. I mean, it is a good amount of damage, but it's not like lethal. Okay, just going in. Now she is representing that all important 5 mana flip up here. So
Yeah,
the O5 is hesitant to get in as a blocker. She's gonna take 8 here and attack back with the Rush of Battle turn. I think.
not enough mana for Flip Abzan Guide and Rush of Battle, though.
No, not quite. That's requires a couple more mana. Do we have any instance of what the next morph is, or it's a mystery?
Nope.
Okay,
No, it is a mystery.
but
Who can say?
yeah. So the double Ghost Fireblade is presenting a big problem here. Um, Chris can have himself a turn where he gains back some of the life here, but I'm not sure if it's gonna completely turn the game around. It'll at least give him a couple extra turns. I mean, he kind of has to do it right now. So he'll gain 11 if he does that? Okay, he's decided not to.
I mean, are
Okay.
you happy to trade Abzan Guide for a random morph here? I guess was the question. And it looks like the answer is yes if he hasn't played the Rush of Battle
No,
yet.
yeah. No. Because, I mean, if he Rush of Battles, he'll attack with the 2 warriors, gain 11, but not make too much headway into rectifying the problems on the other side. Not that he has anything to do that with, but here he gets at least a bit of life. So yeah, so we do know one of the morphs is a Kintree Warden, which is what's giving Lotte the priority here at the 1 green mana untapped. So on her turn, she's going to have priority because of the Ghost Fireblade, but on opponent's turn, that 1 green mana represents what we know as a Kintree Warden, and maybe Chris has clocked onto that too, thanks to the arena. You know, the arena tells. So
And one of those is a 6/7 under the face down, and the other one's a 1/1.
all right. So I think the 6/7 is the one that's attacking. Because if the 6/7 was the middle one, they should be attacking with that one too. All right, so she says it's time for you to show me what's under there, or just bounce off each other. All right, well, here's
That's an elephant.
here's the info you wanted. It's bad for you, Chris. He is gonna get a nice rush of battle turn. That is the upside of all this.
And and the Abzan Guide,
It's gonna be 17 life gained here,
yeah.
and an archer's parapet to stand in front of something next turn off the top here. So it's gain 17. You like to see that if you're. Is it 17? Yeah, 15. Sorry.
Also means that Lotte is forced to trade here.
Yeah, so just gonna trade with the
Or
Mardu Horde Chief. Yeah, like Russia Battle turns games around because of the lifelink. Sometimes you just get your board wide enough that the +2/+1 is the killer, but that's why the spell is good, is because it can draw you back into games where you're falling behind with the lifelink. You're like, look at the life totals here, just like crazily flipped, basically. Chris is at 6 and Lotte
it was a
was
really
at
big shift.
she was at like close to 20, and now
15.
yeah, took
15 that turn.
took 11,
But
yeah.
yeah.
And now what kind of attacks? Yeah, just that.
To have some kind of follow up, because otherwise this is actually just dead on board if Chris swings with both.
Yeah, because of the parapet.
So is
So
that have a follow up, or is that bluff the follow up?
maybe there's a kill shot. Maybe there's something here.
Chris is willing to take the chance.
Looks like something's getting cast. Yeah, I'll do
Ooh.
it. Okay, that's it's quite bad here for Chris. He's just losing both those creatures. Yeah, I think you have to. I don't think you can go for it there. I think if he has something, the game is just straight up lost. Like, yeah, that was. I
And
mean,
Lotte really didn't hesitate at all there either. It wasn't like think for a while, I guess I'll do the attack. It was just like, yeah, I'll brawl with this person, definitely.
Yeah, 4 mana
No.
of 3 different colors and 2 cards in hand. I think is enough to respect a trick of some kind or removal.
And I guess the only real question is, did Chris think if Lotte has a trick of some kind, I'm dead regardless. Like this is my moment to go for it, and if I don't go for it now, I'm losing like in 2 turns anyways. Because Archer's Parapet for 1 a turn really isn't that fast.
Definitely not fast enough here.
Well, that's certainly it
He's dead to
now.
the flyer.
Unless maybe Chris thinks that having just seen that play, that Lot will respect him having something. Just play the morph and say go.
Probably a very small thing, but I don't know how many tap lands he has. But maybe he needed to play his tap land last turn, and then if he draws another tap land, he's not. I guess he's still dead to the flyer because you can equip the second blade. So never mind that one. This elephant no longer requires its blade. I don't think. Well, that'll do it too. All right, so we're gonna get a fun little game 3 here, and we see those ghost fire blades just going such a long way, making Chris's life difficult here.
And again, I mean, once that, I mean, that was fired by Lot having what, like 5 morphs that game,
Yeah, and a couple of them were
and
even
so,
good.
well, one of them anyway. The rest of them were, just kind of useful bodies to hold ghost fire blades.
That's all
But
you need.
yeah, sometimes that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that still would have been problematic against Chris's game 1 hand with the speed that one was representing. Without having as much time to move things around and get the tricks online, it would have been problematic.
Yeah, so not usually a card I'm ever thinking about sideboarding in, basically against anything, but there is 2 naturalized spotted there. This might be the matchup to side a natural. Like once you've seen 2 Ghost Fireblade, that might be enough. Um, one thing about this format, there aren't too many impactful artifact and enchantments, but there's also no main deckable artifact or enchantment hate aside from I think it's the Sultai Charm that hits artifacts or enchantments. Like nowadays they just put it as like a mode on on cards and you just put them in your deck and you're like, okay, I'll play Broken Wings or the one from LCI where you get some you can explore or blow up something. It's like you just throw those in your deck and something shows up and you pop it off. But like there's basically nothing that you're running aside from Sultai Charm that actually deals with those in this format. I guess Utter End at rare, but yeah. Do we have any indication of Lotte's hand here?
Absolutely nothing.
All right. Well, we see a couple nice top end cards from Chris here with Pine Walker and the very scary Wingmate Rock. That card
Ooh.
is absurdly strong, as everyone knows, or anybody who has read it knows. Right, here's Cofflerism MVP Smoke Teller over there for Lotte. Chris probably deciding if he wants to just throw a debilitating injury on that. I mean, I kind of just want to save my debilitating injury for the first morph because the first morph represents better than a smoke teller. The first morph represents, being a 4/4 on the next turn.
That's true. I guess just thinking about mana efficiency, though. I mean, Chris has the Pine Walker that he can drop out next turn, so he's looking to spend 2 mana this turn, so he can spend 3 next turn. But yeah, that makes things potentially a lot scarier
Yeah,
when that morph becomes big.
yeah, and we didn't directly mention it, but Chris is on a mulligan here. He had the one lander that he had to send back, and I mean this is a pretty reasonable mulligan, I will say, but He's still going to be behind on cards for most of this game. A lot of wondering what is it that he could have that punishes a block here. Like any combat trick would just win anyway. Also depends what the morph is.
One, respecting
Yeah,
the possibilities.
when I'm really scared about blocking a prowess creature is when I have two creatures in play, right? Because like let's say they they go and kill my other morph at instant speed. Now that Just Guy Students is a 2/4 and it's a 2/1. But there's not that many 2/1s you could get in that spot, and we know Chris didn't have anything, but yeah, he got the one damage in. All right, well, off goes the Pine Walker, but we. I wonder if Chris throws away his Just Guy Student here to get two birds, and I'm thinking about
Kind
it.
of.
Also,
I kind of feel
Lotte
like,
can just yeah,
yeah,
Lotte's just attacking here, so also
yeah.
correct. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, Smite the Monstrous is nice. That'll get the morph off the board. But yeah, we are gonna. The Lotte has a serious clock now. This is just one of the best cards in the format. It's far above rare. It would be a top rare in any format, even today. Like it would stand up as like best card in the set candidate today. Though today you probably wouldn't have to raid. You would just get it. You just get the token. But yeah, very scary card. Definitely uh, alert. Lot is on alert mode because this is going to kill quickly and gain life too. Yeah, this Herald of Van
I think
Defensa. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just trying to think about how the face down card compares with the two flyers. Like if there was a chance that that was the 1/5 flyer we'd seen during game one, or during game two, and if that was the case, if it was worth smiting it, if Lotta taps out instead of waiting and saying, well, I can always smite it later. Because if you flip it up, then it's now a 3/7, so that's under smite range.
Yeah, we'll stand in the way here. I think Lotte has concluded that without ways to interact with this wingmate, she just needs to be attacking at all times, basically.
Yeah.
But
Only
yeah, that's
only
why.
having 4 mana as well, though, means that morph is significantly less scary than it could be.
Yeah, and that's why the wingmate is so good because it gains you that life, even if it's a couple life points. That still swings it in your favor here. Though the Sultai Flare trigger here is nice for Lotte. So big second main phase here. See if she has something
A
that can
thumbnail
combat.
thumbnail did finally update, but it looks like it's from a couple minutes ago. Uh, has an additional. She has a Woolly Loxodon in hand because I can see that there was a morph in play and Woolly Loxodon in hand. But the only
It's
other, but that's the only new card that I learned about.
yeah, long shot squad. I mean, is a good card, but it's going to be too slow here, right? With the outlast, like there's just very little way I see this going wrong for Chris. I mean, he has to smite the monstrous here if he feels threatened by that morph.
Or if the long shot squad tries to reach things up.
Yep. But without a bunch of mana, she can't do something like put a counter on it and then play Dragon Scale Boom like we saw
Yeah.
do last game. Like when you have 6 mana, if she was hitting her line drops, that might have been an option. But the options are few here. Uh, still not knowing what's in her hand, but even with the best of situations with her hand, still not looking amazing.
There is a chance that she can just, actually kill Chris, but the Smite the Monstrous as a trump probably stops that.
Yeah, you would think like maybe
But
like
seven really is not a lot of life.
yeah, he's gonna go back up to 9 with the Wingmate Rock, and he does have to smite the monstrous. Um, the one card that I could think of that Lotte might have to pull out the win is Become Immense if she has it. Like we saw, I mean, we saw Chris has it, but that could be one because Chris goes to smite the monstrous, the 4/4, and then we get become immense on something else. The hits keep coming here for Chris with another 3/4 flyer bomb card, High Sentinels of Arishin. Um, Wondering what he does, because Lotte has put up a pretty good offense here. Like Chris hasn't found too much to do aside from the Wingmate Rock, so Lotte has been able to get in for damage. So interesting to see if he plays the bird here or just keeps Smite the Monstrous up.
I feel like it's leave Spite the Monstrous up. I think that like he chose to hold on to the smite instead of doing an end step smite last turn, and that's reasonable. But I think it kind of locks him into holding it up this turn as well.
Yeah, I mean a feat of resistance can foil that plan, I suppose. But Chris still has the option of blocking whatever the biggest thing is with the Jeskai student, even if there's. I guess no, it wouldn't. We wouldn't be able to if he gave it pro white, but if she was able to do that.
Yeah,
But we'll see
I
what she does. It's probably an
yeah.
attack all because she's she's rather dead on the way back here. Maybe there's an Abzan guide under one of those. I guess. I think if I'm Chris, I fire off the smite before I block, just to know that it resolves. See what he does. Yeah, I mean, like the question is like, how do you beat Wingmate Rock from like a pretty a pretty equal board state? Well, one person doesn't draw too much, and the other person just plays creatures and attacks and tries to offset the life gain. Okay, so it's gonna block the biggest creature. Maybe hoping that she spends mana to flip up the other morph, and then that gets hit by Smite the Monstrous. That's gonna be the Abzan guide. That's gonna get hit by Smite, and now we get the game coming to an end here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
That'll do it.
good patience with the Smite the Monstrous there. Hadn't seen an Abzan guide on Lotte's side, but he played and made sure that the life gain didn't go through. She had to flip it up. So we get a win here for Chris, avenging his loss to Saltai last week. Congratulations to Chris for the win, and we'll be back in a bit with our second match of the day.